Okay, welcome everyone. Kevin LaRocca here with Binary Pro Strategies. This is going to be a weekly recap. It's going to be the week ending on August 2nd of 2019. And we're going to do things a little bit differently today. I'm going to go through each one of the charts for each, I have Sunday night session. I only recorded the day sessions, and we'll go through that here. But the overall results, not a bad week, not as strong as last week. But, that's pretty typical. You usually have, just like if you have a strong day, the next day typically is not as strong. Same with the weeks. I noticed that if I have a really strong week, the next week is not as strong. And that's definitely followed out this week compared to last week. But nonetheless, not a bad week. As you can see, I did have a losing day on Friday. That really was one of my issues, and I'll go through that in just a minute here. But one thing, of course, I've been showing every week now is I look at my very first trade of the session. There's a total of 10 sessions. I trade morning and night. Obviously, you can only trade at night on Sundays, and there is no afternoon session on Fridays because NADEX closes down at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. But I still had 70% of my trades each session. The very first trade was a winner, 70% of the time. Definitely not bad, considering that this is not something that I'm really trying to focus on. I'm just, whatever signal comes up first, I go ahead and take it. Now, one thing I want to mention, if you have the core strategy, or if you're thinking about the core strategy, every single one of the patterns that I trade are listed in the core strategy course, which is the basic course. It doesn't include the crystal ball, but it does include all the patterns that I traded this week, except Thursday nights. Thursday nights I do focus on the crystal ball method only for those that have purchased and want to work on just trading the crystal ball method. But that's only on Thursday nights. What I did a little bit differently this week is I was trading a new pattern that I'm getting ready to release to all our subscribers that subscribe to the monthly chat room. And it's not a new pattern. It's still a pattern that comes with the core strategy. It's just a different way of trading that particular pattern, and you're going to see how successful it is. And as things develop, if I do find new ways to trade some of the other patterns, I will disclose those as well. But right now I'm taking this one particular pattern, trading a little bit differently, and the results are just kind of phenomenal in terms of the accuracy of the signals. So nonetheless, let's start going through this. Let's start with Sunday night, and I do have that chart already pulled up here. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so here we go. This is Sunday's action. What you see here is if you are a monthly subscriber to the chat room, every single one of these arrows, or the trades that I make, I do draw these arrows as I'm making a particular trade, and sometimes even prior to that. But in most cases, I'm going to let you know I'm trading a particular setup coming up. You do have the opportunities to jump in on those trades if you'd like or not. I don't recommend that. The key here is to teach you how to do this on your own. But every single one of these setups right here is based on one of the particular patterns. And that's pretty much all I did this week. And this is Sunday. Sunday nights are my favorite night. Also was the strongest session I had for the week. And these are actual signals. And this is, there are other patterns that are in here that I didn't trade. So if you want to trade even more, obviously there's a lot of opportunities here. But this particular night, I think I only was wrong once, maybe twice. Twice. I had 2 losing trades, but I had a lot of winning trades. Also, the key to trading binaries is you want to start off trading one lots. You want to build up your account, and then if you do have a loss, based on the results and what the other pairs, you have to look at the correlations, then I will come in many times and add more contracts on the next trade, because with this particular pattern, very, very seldom do you have more than a single loss in a row. Okay, and there is a reason for that, and I'll see if I can get into that towards the end of this video. But nonetheless, Sunday night, great night. real strong, a lot of great trades. So anyway, let's take a look at Monday's action, and we'll start looking at the Monday action. Like I said, I don't have screenshots for the night action. I do like night action quite a bit because you do have narrower spreads on the strike prices, and you tend to get better premium. In the morning, you're going to find that the spreads are going to be wider apart. So if you're taking a particular trade and it's in the money, sometimes there's no premium. So sometimes that's why you see a no trade. These W's are wins, L's are obviously losses, and N's are no trades. Now, a no trade could be for a couple things. Number one, either I couldn't get any premium on it, so I didn't trade it, or I just didn't trade it because maybe I missed it, or I'm dealing with somebody in chat and we're discussing things. Sometimes I just straight out miss them. Okay, so it's either I didn't take the trade because I was just busy, or I didn't take the trade because I couldn't get premium. Okay, so that's, but every single one of these are kind of set up, and everything is set up in advance, so you kind of know what's going on. But anyway, all right, so that is Sunday night. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Monday morning. Okay, so here's Monday morning's action. What did I do for the morning? 361 this morning session. I do trade from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central, which would be, 9 to 4 Eastern Time. Every day I'm in chat. At night I'm usually in chat between 8 and 10 Eastern. I trade just 2 hours, but typically what I make at night in 2 hours is sometimes more than I make trading from 9 to 4, but and that's because of the spread differences. But nonetheless, you can see, and one of the things I want to point out about this particular pattern here. Once again, this is one of the patterns that are in the core strategy. It's just I'm trading it a little bit differently, but the accuracy is quite high. And one of the things you'll notice about this, and extremely important, is that typically, you get, if you have a loss, you typically don't have 2 losses in a row. You usually come back and you have a win, and you can kind of see that here. There's a loss, there's a win. There's one over here on the Aussie. There's a loss, there's a win. Let's see here. That's a win. That had pretty much all wins. Yeah, that's a loss, that's a win. So, very important part of this particular pattern is not only is it highly accurate, but you typically don't have more than 1 loss in a row. Can you get 2 losses? Of course you can get 2 losses in a row, but that's pretty rare, and that's important information to trade off of. The other thing is this particular pattern has a way of self-adjusting itself to the phase of the market. So when it gets out of phase, you have a loss, but it quickly snaps back in and you just start having wins again. So it self-adjusts to the phase of the market. It's a very unique pattern. It's not something you're going to find. It's not a candlestick pattern. This is not a typical pattern like a head and shoulders or breakouts or support and resistance, anything like that. These are my own unique individual proprietary patterns that I developed. And this particular one is just a different way of trading one of those patterns. There's a total of 5 different patterns. This is just one that I've modified in the way that I trade it, and it tends to be very accurate. So not a bad way to start Monday morning. And so ended up $361 dollars for that particular morning session. So let's go on and let's take a look at Tuesday's trades. Okay, so here's Tuesday morning sessions, 277.25 for the day. A lot more trades than we saw yesterday. Let me point this out again. Once again, I talk about losses. I think there's one in here where we had a couple losses in a row. Yeah, it's right here. We had 2 losses in a row. Very unusual. You do have you can get 2 losses in a row, but it snapped back in. So it gets out of phase for a while, and then it gets back in the phase and usually comes back really strong. So you just tend to have a series of winners right after if you have 2 losses in a row. But it's typically you only get out of phase on one trade, and then it kicks back in again. But a lot of trades here. A lot of no trades because, once again, either I just missed it, and that could be because I'm talking to somebody or I'm looking at something else or whatever the case may be, or there was no premium. And that's typically why you see an NT. But Some of these NT trades can also be quite profitable. It's just that I just didn't trade it for any particular reason. So not because I didn't think the signal was strong. The key to trading this particular pattern is you do have to trade every single one. Stick with one pair. Now I jump around quite a bit, but stick with one pair, and you'll have a lot quicker success that way instead of trying to trade 4 or 7 of the different pairs. It's not something I recommend until you build up your account. I suggest you find a pair you like. My favorite is a Euro, but you could pick any one of these and just stick with that one, and every time you get a signal, just trade it and then adjust your size accordingly, as I discussed in the live chat room. So anyway, nice Tuesday, 277.25. And so let's go ahead and let's take a look at Wednesday's action. Okay, so here's Wednesday's action. $290 for this particular morning session. This was this is a pretty good session. Only had one loss the whole session. And there was one night this week. No, actually there was 2 nights this week where I had 0 losses. They were 100% wins. That was in the night session. But this particular morning session only had 1 loss. And but you see, you didn't get as many signals, didn't get as many trades, which is fine. I mean, you don't have to have a lot of signals, okay, to make money. The key is having good signals, right? Having strong signals. And this, once again, is the pattern that does self-adjust. Once again, this pattern is in the core strategy. But to understand the new way that I trade it, you have to be a monthly subscriber to the chat room. And that is available to anybody that does enter the monthly chat rooms. Also, as I move forward, any of these patterns that I have adjusted a little bit or found a better way to trade it, I will disclose that to anybody that's in the monthly chat room. They will have access to these modifications. The patterns are not modified. It's the way that I trade the particular pattern. It's hard to describe without getting into details, but it's the way that I trade the particular pattern. That makes it different. So nonetheless, this is Wednesday's 290. Didn't have a lot of signals all day, but the ones I had were winners. Again, I had 1 loss over here on the Aussie, and that was it. So I made a little bit more than I made the prior day. Made 277 the prior day, but you can still do very well on less signals. Okay, so it doesn't mean you have to have a lot of signals to do well. The key is you want to have quality signals, not it's quality, not quantity. Okay, and you want to have a lot of opportunities. And this particular pattern gives you a lot of opportunities. And this is just a session. A lot of opportunities at night. If you like to trade in the middle of the night, you can do that as well. These patterns are always available as long as the NADEX is open. The 5-minute NADEX is open, which is what, 24/5. Then you could trade anytime that you wish. I always suggest give yourself at least a 2-hour window. Usually not going to take that long. You're probably going to hit your objective within the first couple trades, but always give yourself some time because you never know how long it's going to take before you get a signal. You could be waiting an hour before you get a signal. Sometimes you'll see, like right in here, about 20 minutes you get one, and then maybe another 30, 40 minutes you get another one. Then you had probably a whole hour here before you got another one. So always say give yourself at least a couple hours. Find your time that's most convenient to you where you can sit and watch these charts, trade for 2 hours, come in with an objective and get out. Don't have to trade all day like I do. I suggest you come in with an objective, hit it, and then get out. Okay, so let's take a look at Thursday and see how we did on Thursday's morning session. Okay, here's Thursday's action. Morning session, 278. Very similar to what I did on Tuesday's morning session. Did 277. Today I did, 278. The other thing about my strategy is you'll see that most of the days are pretty consistent, which that's real important. You don't want to be trading a method to where one day you make, 100, next day you make 500, next day you make 50. I mean, you like to see it more consistent, right? You want to see, at least, 100 across the board or 200 across the board or 300 across the board. And I'm trading all of them. That's not taken into account just going for your morning objective. If you're going for a morning objective, obviously, that's going to be a lot more consistent. But I'm just trading pretty much all these signals here. as a way of demonstrating to my students that you can trade anytime during the day. As long as you have the time to do it, you can trade at any time and be profitable. So anyway, this I definitely had a couple losses. I think the thing I want to point out on this day is, look at Aussie, didn't have any losses. There was one loss over here on the euro, which is my favorite again. There's a day here where we had a couple losses in a row. It wasn't on the pound, I think it was on the yen. Yeah, here it is on the yen. So you had a couple losses in a row, got out of phase, but then it kicks back in and off you go, off to the races. So that's the key, is not only trading the pattern, but understanding what happens when it does get out of phase. And you're going to know that because you're going to have a loss, right? So a loss is a good thing because it tells us that the market's getting ready to get back in the phase. So if you want to wait for a loss and trade again, it's not something that I do, but you could, I guess, to improve your first entry. You could do that. But nonetheless, I don't do that. Whatever first signal comes up, I take it. And that's how I ended up with, 70% of each session, the very first trade out of the box, 70% of the time I'm a winner. I don't try to wait for a loss. I just come and I just start trading. That's the way I am. And but if you have a small account, probably not a bad idea. Maybe wait for a loss and then come in and hit it. But once again, stick with just one pair. So anyway, that's Thursday. Let's take a look at Fridays, and we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's recap. Okay, so here's Friday's action. This particular session, I was down $104.25. Part of that had to do with the fact that I was pretty much in and out of the market, so I wasn't making a lot of these trades. You can see I had, a lot of no trades. Here's a no trade there. I had several no trades, and so I was just kind of in and out. Once again, I trade across the board, and so when I would come in, I was taking a lot of these losses here and hitting a few wins, and I think I was up until the very last part of the day, and I think I put some size on one of these trades and ended up being down $104. But that's just the way it is. I don't recommend you do that. I do get distracted during the day only because I'm trying to help out my members. But if you just stick with one pair, you're going to be fine. In fact, I think everybody in chat on Friday made money. I think I was the only one that actually lost money. But that's just the way it is. I mean, that's just part of trading. You have to be focused. You have to be constant. You can't be coming in and out. You can't be getting into one signal and then, waiting for a while. And you've got to take every single signal because you've got to make sure that you're staying in phase. Because if you get out of phase and you stop trading, then what's going to happen is you're probably going to wait, and then you're going to get back in. It's going to be out of phase again. So it's just kind of Murphy's Law, but that's the way it is. So anyway, not down very much for this Friday's actions. And Fridays are tough, but you can see how well it gets back in the phase again. Even if it does get out of phase a little bit, it does kick back in, and it comes back pretty strong with a lot of series of wins. So that's just part of the game. But nonetheless, overall, had a great week, not as strong as the prior week. I think this is going to continue. Always say during the summer is a good time for NADEX. I don't know why that is. It just is. And but once again, the key is you want to start with the core strategy. Everything is in there. You can do it on your own. You can just purchase the videos, watch the videos, and trade on your own. If you want to come in the chat, you want to see the arrows, trade the arrows. If you want to see why I'm making a particular trade, what the signal is, which ones I didn't get into, which ones I do get into, then I think, and also to keep updated with any new adjustments to these patterns, then you definitely want to become a monthly subscriber. People that have decided to go ahead and become a monthly subscriber after watching the videos, I tell you, it makes a lot of difference because you're really getting hands-on with me. I'm in there. You can ask questions. You can ask me about a particular setup if you think it is the right setup. If it's not the right setup, what strike am I going for? Those types of things. I think it's well worth the small amount of money that I charge, and it's definitely worth keeping up with any new modifications. Okay, so anyway, that's it for this week. I think that we're going to see this volatility continue. I think we're going to continue to have a very strong week. So the other thing is, if you like these videos, please always give me a thumbs up. At least I know that you guys are enjoying these, then I can continue to do them. Also, make sure that you subscribe so I can keep up to date on any new videos I'm sending out. I do have a free I guess it's pattern, I guess you call it, yeah, free pattern that I'm going to be sending out for the FT100, for FT100 hourlies. I am not an hourly trader, but it's just something that I've noticed. And if you are an FT100 trader and you like to trade the hourlies, let me know. Just go ahead and provide me with your email address. Go to my site, binaryprostrategies.com. Let me know you're interested in that, and I'll make sure that I get that out to you. And for my subscribers, this new pattern, I am going to have a night session. We're going to go through it. We're going to discuss and also put a video for you guys so you can go ahead and watch it. Okay, and that's going to be for those that do the monthly subscription. Anyway, that's it for this week. I'll be back next Friday. Be sure you get on my email list, and I'll keep you up. I do a weekly, and I also do a midweek recap, so you can kind of keep up with where we are for the week. So make sure you get on that by just going to my email address. I'm going to my web address. Provide me with your email address, and I'll make sure that I get you and keep you in the loop. That's it. Everybody have a great trading week, and we'll talk to you on next Friday. Okay, so if you're interested in learning exactly how I do this, I do offer 2 different packages. And the way this is set up is that if you want to learn about the core strategy package, now that isn't going to include all the videos. You're going to get full access to all my training videos and educational material. You're going to get full disclosure of the core strategy, which I use a lot, particularly the single and double continuation patterns. The majority of all the results that you see on my daily returns is going to be based off of those 2 patterns, okay? I also do trade the delta pattern, and I also will show you how to use the nibble strategy. The nibble strategy is designed to catch very short-term trades, and I'll show you exactly how to use that in combination with some of the other core patterns. Also, how to transition from demo to a live account. This is very important. That video is also included. As you know, it's also available on YouTube for free. But how to transition from a demo to a live account is very important. Something you need to watch. Don't just jump in and start trading in a live account. You want to learn the strategy, and you want to make sure that you're profitable. I'd say at least 9 out of every 10 days. And then when you get ready to transition to a live account, please watch the video, because there's some really good steps on how to make that transition. Also, when you purchase the package, you're going to get a 1 hour of personal training with me. So you and I will do a one-on-one, and I'll make sure that you fully understand everything and how it works. Now, this package is designed to pretty much purchase and go if you'd wish. You can purchase, watch everything, and go out and trade on your own. Now, if you want to learn about the core strategy, plus the crystal ball, basically you're getting everything in here. You're getting the core strategy, but you're also going to get the you're going to learn the crystal ball method. That's something that's available. That's a video that is not available online. That's something you and I will once again sit down and go through and make sure you fully understand it. Now, if you decide that you want to go just with the core strategy and learn the crystal ball at some point, I'll just charge you the difference between the core strategy price and then the full price that includes the crystal balls. So I'll just charge you the difference between the 2. Okay, so these are designed to basically purchase, learn them, and then go and do your own trading and so forth. Now, if you wish to join me live as I trade live every day, which I highly suggest, because what I do is I also, not only do I share my charts, but I show you where I'm getting in, where I'm getting out, what strike, what price, why I'm doing it, what I'm seeing in the market. It's well worth it, and that's only going to be $50, okay? So if you want to, once again, if you just want to learn these on your own, you can purchase the package and move on. If you want to learn the package and then also join my live trading room, chat room, then that's just $50 a month, and that's $50 reoccurring as long as you want to stay. There's no time limit, so if you want to stay 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just $50 a month, okay? So if you're interested, you want to go to binaryprostrategies.com, and in there under Join Now, you're click on that little button. It'll pop up. You'll see this, and you can go ahead and purchase one of these one of these two packages, and or if you're a reoccurring member, you can go ahead and join the monthly if you're not already part of the chat room. So any questions, as always, you can always get a hold of me by going to the website. My phone number's there, email address, and so forth. So if you like to do that, feel free to give me a call. I'll be glad to answer any of your questions before you make a decision. But everything I teach is fully disclosures. I'm not holding anything back. I am here to educate. I'm not a signal provider. That doesn't do you any good by me just giving you my signals. I'm here to teach you how I see the signals, and I want you to learn them as well and be able to identify them as well as I do. And then, this way you are free to trade on your own. You don't need me around all the time. But for those that like to stay in the chat room and trade with us live every day, that's always an option as well. So that's it. Thanks once again for watching my video, and you'll have a great day.